Right now, you are warm. You probably don't even think about it. If the temperature drops, a machine quietly turns on before your body notices. You move from a heated home to a heated car to a heating building. Winter is little more than a cold walk across a parking lot. But for almost all of human history, winter was something else entirely. It wasn't uncomfortable. It was deadly. The cold could kill you. Hunger could kill you. Wild animals could kill you. And the endless darkness could slowly break your mind. So here's the question. For hundreds of thousands of years, with no heating, no supermarkets, and no insulated homes, how did humans survive winter at all? Because they did. They spread into Ice Age Europe, Siberia, and some of the harshest environments on Earth. And the story of how they survived is one of humanity's greatest achievements. Let's begin with the most obvious enemy, the cold. Here's something surprising. Humans are tropical animals. Our bodies evolved in the warmth of Africa. Without protection, a person can develop hypothermia in just a few hours. We don't have thick fur. We don't have claws. We aren't naturally built for freezing temperatures. Yet somehow, humans marched straight into the Ice Age. Fire helped, but fire had one major weakness. It only warmed the side facing the flames. The moment you stepped away to hunt or gather wood, the cold returned. People needed a way to carry warmth with them. The answer was clothing. Not simple animal skins thrown over the shoulders, but carefully sewn garments that trapped warm air close to the body. That breakthrough depended on one remarkable invention, the bone needle. More than 40,000 years ago, humans were shaping thin pieces of bone and drilling tiny eyes through them to stitch hides together with animal sinew. The result was fitted clothing that transformed survival. Without it, humans would never have reached the frozen north. Staying warm was only half the battle. When the sun went down, people needed somewhere to survive the night. Caves were perfect. They blocked the wind, stayed relatively warm, and kept out the snow. But good caves were rare. If you found one, other people probably wanted it too. So humans learned to build their own shelters. One of the most remarkable examples comes from what is now Ukraine. Around 15,000 years ago, people living there had almost no trees and very little stone. So they built homes from the one material they had in abundance, mammoth bones. Huge tusks formed the entrances. Massive bones created walls strong enough to withstand brutal winters. These weren't temporary camps. They were carefully planned homes. Inside, every detail helped preserve heat. Animal hides covered the walls. Grass and leaves insulated the floor. Gaps were sealed with earth and, in some places, even snow, because snow traps air, and trapped air holds heat. A shelter wasn't just protection from the weather. It was a carefully engineered survival system. But even the warmest shelter couldn't solve the next problem, food. Winter doesn't simply make the world colder. It stops producing food. Plants disappear. Berries are gone. Roots freeze beneath the ground. Many animals migrate or become much harder to hunt. For ancient humans, survival became a race against time. Everything needed for winter had to be gathered before winter arrived, so they became masters of food preservation. They dried meat until it could last for months. They smoked it to slow decay even further. In colder regions, frozen ground became a natural freezer. Large stores of meat could remain edible deep into winter, but the most valuable resource wasn't meat. It was fat. Staying warm burns enormous amounts of energy. Lean meat alone wasn't enough. Fat provided the calories that kept people alive through the coldest months. Every successful hunt wasn't just dinner, it was survival for the weeks ahead. By now, you've survived the cold, you've built a shelter, you've stored enough food, but winter had one final weapon. Darkness. The farther north people traveled, the shorter the days became. After just a few hours of daylight came long, freezing nights. You couldn't hunt, you couldn't travel. You were confined to a small shelter with the same people for weeks, sometimes months. That kind of isolation could be just as dangerous as the cold itself. But ancient humans did something remarkable. They turned those long nights into an advantage. Around the fire, they repaired tools. They carved new spear points. They sewed clothing for the weeks ahead. Everything that didn't require daylight was done during the winter nights. The darkness wasn't wasted. It was productive. But winter nights weren't only about work. They were also where people shared stories. Older members of the group taught younger generations everything they knew: how to hunt, how to survive, where to travel, which plants healed. Those stories carried knowledge across thousands of years, long before writing ever existed. In many ways, winter helped create human culture itself. Families gathered around a fire, keeping each other warm while passing on the ideas that shaped the next generation. Winter didn't just test the body, it strengthened the mind. When you step back, a surprising pattern appears. Winter didn't simply threaten humanity, it changed humanity. The cold drove us to invent fitted clothing, the lack of shelter pushed us to build homes, food shortages forced us to master preservation, and the endless nights became the birthplace of learning, storytelling, and culture. Nearly every innovation that allowed humans to spread across the planet was born from the struggle to survive the cold. Now think about your own winter. You adjust a thermostat, you open a refrigerator filled with food from around the world, you complain that it gets dark too early, yet your ancestors faced a very different question every year. Will we survive until spring? Winter never became weaker, humans simply became stronger, one invention at a time.